Hello, this is Rick Saltarelli with Salty Breeze Cruise Planners with this week's segment of Beyond Your Front Door. And today we are going back to Alaska and we have a guest with us from Denali Adventures. Please welcome the owner, Kyle Davis.
Hey, how's it going? Of
It's going well. Thank you so much for joining me today. I really appreciate it.
course.
You got that beautiful view and behind you, which is what it's all about, people getting up to Denali.
Yeah, that's the mountain right there. That's what maybe 25 to 30% people get to see when they come to the Denali area. Unfortunately, they not everybody gets to see the whole mountain, but it's beautiful when you get to see the whole thing.
Sure. And Denali is such a destination for so many people, and yet you live right there. So tell us what it's like to live and play right there where everybody wants to go to.
Yeah, it's a real blessing. I've been in the area for over 15 years now, and just having my family up there and having Denali National Park and that whole area of Alaska wilderness in our backyard is just amazing. Getting out and doing different activities and events, and just having that wilderness available to us is just. Most people come to vacation in our area, and we live there, and it's just been awesome to be able to provide the tours that we offer and share what we love about Denali with our guests.
Sure. And so living in Alaska and visiting Alaska is a unique experience on its own. And then being able to go and experience Denali takes it up one notch. And what you do with a Denali Park Adventures is you're pretty much surrounded or you're bordering the park. How did that come about?
Yeah, so if you look at a map of Denali National Park, there's a little cutout on the northern edge of the park that's about 60 miles high by 20 miles wide, and that's where we operate. That's where the town of Healy is. There was an old coal mining and other kind of mining in that area when the park was established, so the border went around that. But it's a real blessing to be able to be in that area, just because we can operate our ATV tours there. We have our zip line course there, and just to be able to have that feeling like you're in the national park, but you're not. You're not technically in the park boundary. And one of the other advantages is the wildlife doesn't really know where the park boundary is. So they come to our area all the time and visit our tours. And so a lot of the area is private property or Alaska Railroad. So a lot of ability to use the land for different things, which is great because, once you're in the national park, it's a completely different experience. You have a lot of limitations on federal land.
Sure. And I'm glad you mentioned the wildlife because that is a big reason why people go to Denali in the first place. And you have multiple companies. So I'm just going to sit back and let you talk about those different companies and the different experiences that people can have. So take it away.
Sure. So Denali Park Adventures brand encompasses several different adventure activities. So we have guided ATV tours, we have zip line tours, we have Jeep tours, and then we have a couple of rental options as well. So our ATV tours is our oldest company, the first one we started. We do guided ATV tours through the Alaska wilderness. We have several different tour options throughout the day and several different types of machines. All of our machines are brand new every year. We run Yamaha machines. We have single units, side by sides. It's a family friendly activity. Kids is about as young as one can go on our tour if they fit in a forward facing car seat and can wear a helmet. We get people out just in the Alaska wilderness. It's a tour that can be for someone that's ridden before or have their own ATVs, or someone that's never ridden before. So it's not just a walk in the park. It's not a flat road that we're riding on. We do ride on some trails that are aggressive. All of our machines are four-wheel drive, but have power steering, and they have roofs and windshields to keep you out of the elements. And it's just a pretty fun time out in the wilderness, letting people experience a different side of Alaska, getting out on the trails. Our Jeep tour company runs down the Denali Highway, Denali Jeep Excursions. And the Denali Highway, if you don't know, is the old access to the national park. Before the George Parks Highway was put in, which is the paved highway that goes from Anchorage to Fairbanks, the Denali Highway was the old access. And it is a state highway, but it's not a highway, I guess you'd say. It's a dirt gravel road that can be rough at some times. It's only maintained during the summer season. And that's the reason we run our Jeep tours down it. It's a very scenic road. but it's also very remote. And so we have to carry a satellite phone with us. There's no cell phone service. There's no facilities out there. There's no gas stations. So you got to know what you're doing when you go out to the Denali Highway. All of our Jeeps have Kevlar tires put on them because flat tires is a big deal out there. And if you don't know how to change a flat tire or you don't have a spare that's pumped up, you're going to be stuck for a little while. So we make getting out on the Denali Highway an experience. And it's more of a scenic Jeep tour than it is an off-road rugged Jeep tour like you'd find in different states. You get to see Denali. This picture's taken from out there. You get to see glaciers, wildlife. It's just a very scenic trip. And the Denali Highway runs. It's not officially in the national park, but it runs along the Alaska Range. And whereas the park road, the Denali Park Road, runs east to west out towards Denali, the Denali Highway runs the opposite direction along the same mountain range. So it's very similar to being in the national park without. And then something new for this year, our Jeep company is also offering Jeep rentals. So the same Jeeps that go on the highway, we're going to be renting because we've had a lot of people ask us just to kind of get away from the group travel, the crowds of the area due to COVID. And they just want to take a Jeep and experience it on their own. And so whether that's going on the Denali Highway or driving into the national park 15 miles where you're allowed to go with your own vehicle, or just simply just going out and exploring the area yourself, we offer a short-term Jeep rental, which is 2 hours, 4 hours, or 8 hours. And on request, we can do overnight as well. But that's not really the goal. We're not looking to be a car rental service. We're looking to just kind of be a replacement to a group tour if that's something that you would like. Our zipline tour is 6 years old now, I believe. And we built this zipline tour in the same area where our ATV tours run. It's in a different area, but it's in that same cutout that we talked about earlier. And the zipline course is a 7-line course. You ride 7 lines. We have 6 sky bridges built in. It's a fun, adventurous course, but nothing too extreme. It's built for the demographics of the Denali area, which tend to be a little bit older, cruise guests. And so we have a lot of people that do have a little fear of heights or are a little uneasy, and they say our course is manageable for them. And so that's kind of the reason we built it that way. One cool thing about our course, compared to a lot of other zipline tours in the area or in the Alaska area and elsewhere in the United States, is that you don't have to handbrake with our course, which is a very important thing if you've ever been ziplining. Most zipline courses that are more than 5 years old that haven't been redone, you need to handbrake, which means you put your hand up, slow yourself down when you're coming into a platform. Not only is it dangerous, some guests just don't get it and are not able to do it on their own, or they forget about it because they're ziplining. And so our guides brake for you. It allows you to kind of just spread your wings and fly if you want, or hold a camera. You're not really focused on your guide, and our guides will bring you in and brake for you. The course is a very scenic. Instead of a traditional canopy course, it's built above the trees. The trees in the Denali area are pretty small. And so our platforms are above the tree line, most of them, and allows you to see 360-degree views of the Denali Range, the area, and it's just very scenic. So it's a unique part of our course where most zipline courses are canopy, which means that they're below the canopy line in the trees. So just a different type of course. And then our last company, Denali Toy Rentals, started last year, which was a tough year to start anything due to COVID. But it's very similar to our Jeep rentals. We offer ATV rentals. And we partnered with Polaris Adventures, which is a company, the off-road brand Polaris. And Polaris Adventures is a division of their company that does rentals and tours. And so we actually lease Polaris Razors, and you can rent those and go out and just explore the Denali area on your own. We provide a trail map. Some of the units this year will actually have a GPS unit built into them so that you have a screen. And it just allows you to get out and kind of do it on your own if you don't want to be with a group again. We get some people that just don't want to be with that group this year and even last year. So we'll see what happens in the future. They've become very popular, the rentals, and we can foresee that being a very good thing going forward. Who knows what 2022 is going to hold and what the impacts of COVID and this kind of lifestyle is going to be going forward. So that's kind of a quick recap of our companies. And there's a lot of more information I can give you, but I encourage you guys to check it out, our websites, and just watch some videos and look at some pictures because we just have so much information. I could probably sit here and talk for half an hour.
And for those that are listening to this, there will be a link somewhere with this video to another short video that I have created with Kyle's input of all of the things that they offer. And what you've just been explaining, there's something for every age group, every availability group. So where do people find you?
So we are located right outside the park entrance. If you've been to Denali before, if you haven't, when you come, you'll find that it's a very small area. So there's one highway, it goes north to south, and everything is along that highway. The park entrance is about a half a mile south of what we call the Denali Canyon. There's not really a city or a town name. It used to be called Glitter Gulch. Some people still call it that. We call it the Denali Canyon. The zip code calls it Denali Park, but that's only for the post office, you know. And so the Denali Canyon is about a half a mile north of the park entrance along the Nenana River. And that's where, if you're cruising, the Denali Princess Lodges, the McKinley Chalet Resort, if you're with Holland America Cruise Lines, and several of the larger hotels are in this little small quarter-mile strip. And we are located on the Denali Boardwalk, which is on the east side of the highway. We have 3 different offices. We have our Denali Park Adventures office, which encompasses our Jeep company and our toy rental company. And then each of our zip line tours, Denali Park Zip Line and our ATV tours, have its own separate office on the boardwalk. And we are located directly across the street from the Denali Princess. You could be in their lobby and look at our buildings.
All right. Well, that sounds pretty awesome, easy enough to find. Now, we tell people pretty standard, book in advance because you don't want to be disappointed if you get up there and everything's booked up. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, definitely. So this year's a little different. About a month ago, I would have said you'd be fine to come on up and book a day or two in advance or walk in and jump on a tour. This past month has been pretty busy. I think we've seen a huge increase in independent travelers, people that still want to get out and come no matter if their cruise was canceled or what their plans had been. And so I recommend if you're coming this year to make advanced reservations. I know activities are kind of the last on the list. You look for your lodging, your rental car, your transportation first, but I recommend making advanced reservations for this summer. Now going forward, 2022 and beyond, I definitely recommend. We are already taking reservations for 2022. If you have a date and a time that you need to go on a tour, I definitely recommend making advanced reservations. Our tours, especially, and all the other activities have very flexible cancellation policies due to COVID. We had it before COVID, but just make the reservation. If you need to cancel or move it, do that then, but hold your spot because coming to our area, people try to fit as many activities in as fast as possible throughout the day. And if you need to go at 10 a.m., make that reservation for 10 a.m. and don't hope that there's a space when you show up.
Yeah, absolutely. And there's lots of hotel properties in the area, as we know. And we know that people that are going on structured tours pretty much have half their day organized for them to do the Wilderness Park tour. But you have that other half day. And if you're coming in the day before, you're going to have an evening and maybe the morning thereafter. And if you're coming for 3 nights, you'll have even more time. So get those tours booked ahead of time so you're not disappointed. And speaking about the lodges that are close by, I know some of them are within walking distance, but if somebody needs a ride down from one of the lodges, do you know if the lodges have transportation or do you pick people up at the lodges?
Yeah, and so that's a very good question, and that's a big unknown with a lot of people that are traveling to our area. So it's an important question. So we provide transportation for all of our guests to and from all the main lodges, RV parks, cabins, anything that you would really, if you're staying there, you won't have a rental car. Any place that's like a VRBO or any smaller lodge or B&B that you'd have to have a rental car to get to, we don't provide transportation to, but a lot of the lodges, the main cruise line hotels, a lot of the bigger hotels will have a shuttle as well to transport their guests around. But you don't have to worry about that. If you book a tour with us and you're staying at one of those locations, we'll pick you up and drop you off right from the lobby.
Sure. And of course, that's something that we can help with as well. And so you've shared a lot of information with us today, very exciting information. I love the fact that a lot of your equipment, if not all of your equipment, is new every year. So the obvious question for me, is there anything new on the horizon for you?
Yeah, I didn't mention that when we talked about our tours. Our ATV tours, all of our Yamaha machines we buy new every year and sell. Our Jeeps are used only up to 30,000 miles, so that usually is 1 or 2 seasons, and we get rid of them. New for us. I think our plans right now, the new thing for this season is our Jeep rentals. We're expanding our toy rental company, and we're hoping to expand that past just the Polaris Razors. We're not sure what that's going to look like, but we have some ideas. And we'll see how this summer goes, because we have a lot, normal seasons when people come to our area, they're with, 80% of our guests are with a cruise line. And so they don't have the option to get around. And that's where the rentals have come from. And so we have some ideas out there. It may, if you go to Hawaii and you walk down Waikiki, or you go to those places, when you see those rental places that have all the different types of rentals, that's kind of what we're seeing maybe for Denali. We'll see. I don't want to let the cat out of the bag just yet, but we'll see what the summer looks like.
Yeah, I was thinking to myself, that sounds a whole lot like, well, we'll see what happens later. So stay tuned. You can stay tuned either through Salty Breeze Cruise Planners, or you can stay tuned with Denali Park Adventures website. So we've been talking with Kyle Davis. I want to thank you so much for being with us today. Alaska's just got a lot of interest for people these days. And so it's so great to hear from somebody that can share with what's going on right in the park. So thanks for being with us today.
Yeah, thank you very much for having me. I really appreciate it.
And this has been Rick Saltarelli with Salty Breeze Cruise Planners. You've been listening to this week's segment of Beyond Your Front Door. And if you're looking for more information, give us a call at 888-332-8202. Thanks, Kyle.
Thank you.